Welcome in, everybody, to a brand new video. Don't worry, I did not forget about you guys. I missed you guys. I know I usually make videos, and I post my videos in the beginning of the week, Monday, Tuesday, but I was having issues trying to record this video. I don't know why, but anyways, I think I fixed it, and I'm now recording this after close on Thursday, and I did make posts here on the 24th on Tuesday for both Tesla and SPY. Shout out Yuki, always supporting me. Love you, man. Wadley too. Love you. Matthew, love you. Always supporting me. But yeah, I did make these posts here for SPY and Tesla. And sorry about that. My throat is kind of hurting. Anyways, 397.98 is the most important level to watch. And breaking below this level means that we would be breaking below the rising wedge support trend. And that's why that was the most important level to watch, because, I know bulls definitely do not want to break below this rising wedge. It is a very, very bearish outcome, and it would have caused a lot of blood coming into this week. And lo and behold, when I made the post, here's the 24th. So we ended up opening and supporting 397.98. Which, if I go on the daily, as you can see, the 24th, we ended up supporting the support trend to the T beautifully. I feel like I can now actually extend the support trend a little bit more and maybe bring it down to here now. Yeah, it's cleaner now. So yeah, we ended up supporting the support trend, which is all bulls want to do. Trust me when I say that. You do not want to break below the support trend. Even though in the daily we are trading within a larger falling wedge. Here, wait, let me delete this resistance trend. Yeah, so we are trading within a larger falling wedge, but I think most bulls would agree they would rather break out of this without having to test the support trend one more time. So that would be nice. But in the short term, we are trading within a falling wedge, and we did end up rejecting it today. I'm sorry, not today. The 25th. Wait, that's so weird. Okay, yeah, so the 25th, we ended up rejecting it, and then today's the 26th. So, we got close up again, and we ended up rejecting. And, that's kind of normal. Obviously this is a resistance trend. As long as we continue to reject this resistance trend, we should expect not to break out quite yet. And I would say the level to watch is 420.19. If we start supporting 420.19, then you can expect 430.04, right? That level is gonna act like a magnet. And for the most bullish scenario, that is the level bulls want to get the monthly close above is 430.04, right? That is the most bullish scenario. The most, I would say, going into March, which would be a pretty good scenario. I would say it is bullish. Once again, it's not the most bullish scenario, but it is a bullish scenario, which at minimum is closing above 414.50. As long as we support 414.50, there's a very high chance that we see 456 going like sometime next month, and that would be like my minimum target, to be honest. For you to understand how important the level 414.50 is, this either takes us up to 488.29, which is near all-time highs, or it takes us down to 347.58. Right, so 414 is a very, very important level, and I do believe that tomorrow that level is going to be the fight. Right, we're going to see a lot of action at this level, and once again, the most bullish scenario would be bulls just reclaiming this, breaking out of this falling wedge, and then getting the close above 430.04 or just above 420.19, like whatever. As long as it's above 414.50, I would say that's very bullish for bulls going into next month. And I'm saying the whole month, not just next week, right? Next week can be whatever, but I would say that this is a pretty good indication that we could be seeing a run up to around 456 at the very least sometime next month. But so 414.50 is going to be the battleground for Friday. And bears, I think I covered what bulls want, right? Actually, let me just continue. So bulls, I would say all they want to do this week is not only get the weekly close or the monthly close above 414.50, but it's just defend the support trend. Like, even if we don't get the close above 414.50, sure, that's not the exact goal, but at the very least, get the close above 404.03, or just get the close defending the support trend. And then next week, we're going to be right back to where we've been since February 5th. We've been dealing with the support trend all month, basically, and it's been kind of teasing the idea of wanting to break below, especially with all the tariff news and all the things that's been coming out, which I know a lot of investors probably have a lot of questions whether or not it's bullish, it's bearish, what's going to happen, is the market going to crash, blah blah blah. So sorry about that. But yeah, this is a trend you guys need to defend. And technically speaking, as long as, I mean, look, to be honest, every single time we support this trend, we go up to new highs, right? We don't necessarily need to hit all-time highs. We don't necessarily need to hit 488.29 or new all-time high. It's definitely possible. I mean, I'm going to be, obviously, we'll be taking it week by week, right? Like, let's just hypothetically say we get the close above 414.50. The main target will be 488.29. Right? But first, we're going to have to get the close above 430, then get a close above 443, and then get a close above 456, and so on and so forth, right? So it's going to be there are steps to where, like, say by the third week of March, we're getting a weekly close above 443.18, and then we start getting that last third week we get a close above 456, and at that point, 48 could definitely be in play. Right? Now, it doesn't have to happen within March, but April, we most likely see 48.29, right? Especially since we have this bull gap here. But once again, we don't have to get too ahead of ourselves. I'm just covering the type of scenarios that we would like to look for. But first, that all comes down to supporting this trend, right? So as long as 404 is held, as long as this trend is held, to be honest with you, this is where you buy. Right? I'm not saying this is not financial advice. This is not, like, I'm not, there's a lot of risk buying here, especially with all the news coming out, and we don't know what's going to come out over the weekend, right? Because usually, if you remember the whole tariff fiasco last year, I mean, even the last tariff news that's been coming out since the Supreme Court, ruled it as illegal, Trump did the whole 10% to 15% tariff, and that was over the weekend, right? So usually there's a lot of, whether bullish or bearish news, it's been coming out on the weekends. And, there is risk holding, right? Calls or shares or whatever the case, especially if you're buying here specifically, right? If you're somebody that bought down here, it doesn't really matter. But, I would just say that as long as the support trend is held, we probably do end up seeing 456.31 sometime next month. But I would say, like, by the second, third week of March, we're definitely probably up here as long as we hold this. And once again, I mean, just look at it, right? Falling wedge here. We'd even test the support trend here. But once again, we're in a falling wedge here, right? And so, and even if it's not so clean right here, I mean, in terms of the resistance trend, but, we do have, I mean, shit, let me just do it ugly, right? Whatever. I'll do it like this, right? Yeah, so let's just go ahead and do it like that. Like, there you go, right? So this is a bullish pattern, okay? So as long as, realistically, as long as the support trend is held, this is a pretty good indication that we should bounce, right? I would say, okay, we're testing a support trend that's been holding bulls up since April 7th of 2025. So nearly a year, right? About what, like 11 months or whatever it might be. So nearly a year, and there is some support here in this last, in terms of this year's low, we bottomed here technically in the short term, right? And we're making higher lows, right? Every single time we do test, and that's what we should be looking for. And the fact that we are trading within this falling wedge, that's usually a good combination that, okay, hey, we're close to, the lower half of this range here, and it's indicating that we should have some sort of run, but nothing is guaranteed, right? And considering, like, we could still break below the support trend and go down here, right? And then as long as this support trend is held here for the falling wedge, this falling wedge is still valid, right? And we should expect, like, say whether it's tomorrow or next Monday or Tuesday, we could drop down as low as 368, 370, 369, right? And then at that point, we're going to have to be expecting 404 to be the main target if we do end up supporting this. So, I mean, I know that's not with most investors, and I would say, like, that's kind of bearish, right? Until we honestly break out of this falling wedge and completely just prove that this support trend didn't turn into a resistance, then, I wouldn't be super bullish, because once again, we could very much, like, this is how patterns like this become invalidated, right? You break below a rising wedge, which this is the big daddy, right? This is everything. This is going to indicate everything. So breaking below this, I'm going to respect the fact that, okay, wait, we might be actually playing out, this pattern here. And like I said, getting the monthly close below 414.50, like, now let me just cover the bearish part, because I think I covered the bullish part enough. But what bears want to do is get the close below 414.50, right? And once again, as long as this level has became or is a resistance, and or we're trading below or rejecting it just in general, 347.58 will be the main target. So 414.50 becoming resistance, and then plus we're trading within a rising wedge, is kind of the perfect combination to go and see 347.58, right? So once again, Friday, I believe 414.50 will be the main battleground, right? And bulls want to get the close above, bears want to get the close below. And and once again, this pattern right here, us trading within this rising wedge, it is indicating that there is something else going on outside of just Tesla stock, right? Like, whatever is going on with Trump and, the whole new tariff ruling and all that, I wouldn't be surprised if we start getting more news, or if some more extreme ideas or things start to get pushed by Trump. And, this has nothing to do with whether Trump is right or wrong. I'm just covering here the market here, in the sense of this rising wedge is indicating that there is more going on, right? And, if you've seen my last videos, I keep saying that, hey, look, SPY could be topping out. We could be in the middle of topping out for SPY. And, it's all because we're trading within a rising wedge. So, once again, if we end up getting the monthly close below 414.50, there's a big chance that, I'm not going to say a big, we're still going to be in the 50-50 chance, right? Which, I don't know if bulls can be super confident or bears could be super confident, right? But, if we do end up getting the monthly close below 414.50, if you're a bull, you just got to pray that we never break below the support trend, which is only getting tighter, right? It's only getting tighter. There's not much, you're not going to have many days, right? I mean, you can go up until, March 3rd, March 4th, and, the more we keep holding the support trend, I mean, at some point we're going to have to break out. And then from there, once we reclaim 414.50, then you could technically start to be bullish in the short term, right? Towards 430. And then really 430 is the level you want to be trading above. Once you get above that, then you could start to breathe a little. You could sleep a little more, right? You could be a little more relaxed as long as we're trading above 430. I would say that's where more buyers will start to step in. And, like I said, we'll end up seeing 443, 456. Sorry about that. But anyways, yeah, so this monthly close is going to be everything. And, I mean, I just hope that, well, I mean, I have no skin in the game. So, I mean, I hope for you bulls, you guys get what you want. And I hope for you bears, you get what you want. So it is what it is. Now let's go over to SPY, because, this is, oh, sorry about that. Okay. All right, I'll stay here with SPY here. Okay, so let me just fix this real quick. Don't want it. There we go. All right, that should be a lot better. Yeah. Okay. We'll keep it like this. Okay. So with my SPY post, I said that 678.82 is the most important level to watch. And once again, it's the same exact logic that I had with Tesla, right? 678 would have meant, hey, look, we break below the support trend of this rising wedge, and that's terrible news, right? On the weekly, it falls in the same exact thing. We are trading, or I don't know. I think we may have broke out. I think we may have. Let me see. Yeah, we did break out, right? And in SPY's case, we did get the breakout of the falling wedge, which is cool. But wait, hold on. Live charting here. We might be trading within a. Let me see. let me go ahead and delete this. Okay. And I don't think it's as clean. I'm going to try it anyway. Yeah, but I could already tell it's not as clean as I want it to be. But what is valid here is we might be in the bear pennant, which is bearish. Yeah, let's go ahead and just rock it like this, right? Yeah, there we go. All right, so let's go ahead and make this the main. Oh, that's too dark. Let's go ahead and make it like this, right? Live charting right here, boys and girls. Let's go. All right, so we actually might be trading in a bear pennant, which is a bearish pattern, right? And it's funny because once again, I've all month I've been saying that 693.33 is the most important level for SPY, right? This is the level to me that indicates the more this becomes resistant. And once again, like look at all the times that we're trading above here. I'll even let me just go ahead and get this and just show you guys so I can give you. All right, there we go. So just look at this zone here, right? Every single time we're trading above 693.33, this is looking a lot like a liquidity zone, right? Like this is looking like every single time we're trading above, we have, I'm not even gonna say bearish momentum. We simply just sell off big, right? And even here, like this time we just tapped it. Right, we just tapped it. We couldn't even quite reclaim it, support it. And once again, look at these candles right here. So as long as we continue seeing this, I just have no other way to think that we are topping out. The markets are planning on topping out. And I mean, I'm just going to speak mostly for SPY. I mean, SPY represents a lot of things, so that's why I say markets, right? But this is not what you want to see. And if this bear pennant continues, is valid, right? And, you know, as of right now, we have to respect the fact that it is valid, you know, as long as we're still trading within this. But as long as this support trend, and this is the short term, right? This is a short term view. This is not the long term view. The long term view, we're still bearish, right? But now the short term is also given, hey, we might drop Friday, right? And or get the close below 693.33. Here, wait, let me. Oh, shit. Sorry about that. Don't want to curse. You kids can watch my videos. All right. If you just want to learn, not to trade, just to learn, I wouldn't recommend you trading if you're a kid, unless you know exactly what you're doing and you have your parental guidance, you know. But anyways, yeah, 693.33, I would say is the level bulls really want to get above. Every single time we get above this level and we support this level, all-time highs are in play, right? But that's if we're convincingly supporting the level, right? So as of right now, this is not great. I would say in the short term, you have to be bearish. If we go in testing 693.30, or maybe we don't even quite. I mean, tomorrow we have a good chance that we could retest this, right? As of right now, we're actually trading at 687. So I would say the close below 689.70, which is the second most important level for SPY. These are the two levels that I'm really gauging, right? But the fact that we got the daily close below 689.70, I wouldn't say is great going into tomorrow, but this level is going to act like the magnet. It's going to be very much like the 414.50 level for Tesla, right? This is going to be the battleground. And you know, whether that plays out the whole day or maybe just starts off early, maybe we just reject 689 instantly and then from there we start breaking down. Okay, it shows that bears, you know, are going to be in control for most of the day, or at least in the first half of the day. But ultimately, bulls want to get the weekly monthly close, both, but the monthly close above 689.70. I would say that is their main goal. Bears want to get the monthly close below 689.70, right? The most bullish scenario will be getting the close above 693.33. Two reasons. A, this is the most important level. Like I said, this leads us to 706, 702. It leads us to all-time highs and just more bullishness, right? But also, if bears get the weekly close or the monthly close below 693.30, which let me see what the last monthly close was. Oh, look at that. Was it 691? All right, so this will be back-to-back closes, and this candle is not a good-looking candle. I'm just gonna say that it's not a great-looking candle. I wouldn't call this a bullish candle, and especially if we end up getting the close below 689. 689.70, it'll be even worse. So we would have back to back. Here, did we test? No, we didn't. So we would have back to back closes below 693.33, which I want you to understand. Rejecting this level, and I've already said this in the past videos. Rejecting this level, trading below this level, however you want to put it, leads us to 642.96. 642.96. That's why this level is very important, right? So, and once again, we are trading. It's logical, right? And I mean, the fact that we're trading within a rising wedge, it's not like, oh my God, like this level, rejecting this level, plus if this was the math problem, rejecting 693.33 plus trading within a rising wedge equals us dropping, and the main target will be 642.96. And when I say that this is the second most important level, once again, trading below and rejecting 689.70 leads us to 640.46, right? So let's just say we continue getting we get the monthly close below here, we get the weekly close below here. And in terms of the weekly, we've gotten, say we get the close below this week again, right? That would be 3 weekly candles closed plus a monthly candle below 689.70, right? And 693.33. So no one should be surprised if we end up dropping. Let's say the month of March is bearish. No one should be surprised, right? Because that's what you want to see if we end up getting these closes below these levels. So, in the short term, right? In the short term, like I said, Friday, 689.70 is going to be the level to watch. If we reclaim 689.70, buy open at 9:30 and so on and so forth, and we continue holding 689.70, we're going to range between 689.70 and 693.33. That will be the range, right? As long as we're supporting 689.70. Now, breaking below 689.70, we got the test today, right? Like we broke below 689.70. This is the daily candle, right? And let me see if I have the 5-minute here. No, my levels don't appear here, so I'm gonna stray away from that. But yeah, these levels right here that we tested, 689.97, 686.45, and we got pretty close to the 683.94 level. These are the levels that we will retest if we continue to break below 689.70. And I guess we did have a bear gap to fill, so I guess we ended up filling that. And of course, SPY always does this, right? SPY always does this crazy move where we have this crazy downside move and then, ends up just pumping like crazy. Let me see how the last 5 minutes. Yeah, there you go. So oh wow, I wonder what the news was. Look at this, right? So it's like, all right. So let's just go ahead and rock this out, right? So there we go. We get a bear flag here, bearish. We test the most important level at 693.33, right? Reject it hard, break below this bear, and this is the dream. whoever charted this bear pennant out, or I'm sorry, bear flag out, yeah, you expect the breakout. Don't get me wrong. You expect the breakout, and it's towards 689.70 will be the main target. And as you can see, we actually, when we tested it, we actually showed some fight, right, in the first candle here. And then from there, Jesus Christ, I wonder what the news was. My goodness. Yeah, that's nasty. But, yeah, we ended up pumping here, right? Let's go ahead and laugh together, because let's go ahead and look at this beautiful combination here. Well, we're at 686, so yeah, we broke. Let's go ahead and do after hours. Yep, look at that, rising wedge played out. All right, so this is what we're looking at in after hours right now. So yeah, I guess right after I finish this video, I'm gonna make sure. For anyone watching this video, let me know what the news has been, right? But I'm definitely gonna look out for what's, because that had to be something came out, right? Or was it the Nvidia? I saw that Nvidia had earnings and then we dropped. How did we? Yeah, that's not a great close. Yeah, okay, I'm not covering Nvidia. If you guys want me to cover Nvidia and you're this far, I promise you, I got you. I'll make sure to do a video for Nvidia tomorrow. Well, actually, maybe not tomorrow, but for Monday. But I'll try to get one done tomorrow. But yeah, The main goal is to get the monthly close above 689.70 for a bull. The most bullish scenario will be getting the close above 693.33. In bears, you want to get the close below 689.70. I mean, worst case scenario, 693.33 is the main level bears want to get the close below, but the most bearish scenario will be 689.70. Anything lower than 689.70, so 688.97, 686.45, bears are going to be, crying tears of joy, right? And once again, as long as this resistance trend is resisted, as long as we continue, and I'm not gonna lie to you, there's a pretty good chance. I'm not gonna say a pretty good chance, but we could see 750. We could see new all-time highs next week, right? It's possible, because at this point now, 700. Shit. Let's just say if everything goes out, like, I don't know, the most bullish news comes out tomorrow, we could see 757 starting tomorrow, right? And I'm only basing this off of the resistance trend now is now lining up perfectly with 757. So that's the only reason why doesn't mean we have to, but yeah. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I should make a Bitcoin. Should I just do the Bitcoin video on today's video? Should I do a quick one? I'll make a tease. I think I want to make an individual video for Bitcoin, but let me just go ahead and cover it a little bit. Just to be simple. Once again, I've been talking about this level all month as well. 68,843 is the level bulls want to. And once again, we're in a bear pennant here as well. I do want to say which is bearish, right? So as long as this resistance trend is being rejected, we should retest 65,700 and go lower. And the lowest we can go is about 63K, right? But if we end up breaking below this, I think we finally see my 57,547 level. I think that's the main level that I've been. And you know what? And once again, I feel like there's a fair chance, unless SPY, Tesla, and unless the markets start breaking down, right? Then I believe that 57,500 should be kind of where we bottom, right, in the short term. I posted the video in the beginning of February where, this zone right here from 68 to 65 to 62,000 and 57,000, this whole zone right here is where I expected us to have a bounce short term towards 87K, right? But because we haven't quite seen 57,000, I'm not fully convinced, but the 62K was also a part of my price target. So, and we got to 60K, right? We got somewhat close enough. So, I'm not saying we necessarily have to see 57,000, but I feel like it would, I think a lot more investors, I think what Bitcoin kind of needs right now is more people to just start buying in. Right. And I don't from what we're looking at, most people don't want to buy here. Right. And I don't blame them. I'm not buying. So, starting at this 57,000, I think people would really start jumping in a little more. And once again, as long as 68,843 is resistance and or we're trading below, 57,547 is the main target, right? The true confirmation will be breaking below and rejecting 62,150. That would be the true confirmation. But other than that, as long as 68,843 is resistance, 57,000, will be the main target. And like I said, and plus we're trading within this bear pennant. But let's go ahead and run the bullish scenario real quick. Reclaiming 68,843 is technically bullish. And also that might mean that we're let's say if we're starting to trade above 70, or let's just go right here. So the high of 72K. If we end up supporting 68,843 and then we break above 72K, at that point, 81K will be my main target, but 87K is possible, right? So, that's all. I'm gonna leave it at that, right? 68,000 is the most important level. But when we talk about monthly closes, which we will be getting very soon, if we get the monthly close below 68,000 and or 65,000, I'll be very, very impressed if we don't see 57,000. And at that point, we might see 49,000 at some point in March, right? So I'm gonna leave it at that. And once again, look at this rising wedge here. I made the post in November talking about how 102 was the most important level to watch. And, my main target at that time was, or the lowest target that I gave at that time was 76K. And it was because of this rising wedge. And this is why I'm saying that SPY and Tesla could be topping out, because we're trading within the same pattern, and you saw what happened with Bitcoin, right? So this could very well happen with SPY, with Tesla. Probably not to this level, obviously, but we could have a pretty respectable pullback, right? So I'm gonna leave it at that. I'll post an individual video probably next week for Bitcoin once we get the monthly close. I think we're probably better off covering what actually happens versus projecting. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. I hope you all have a phenomenal, well, actually look at me. I'm about to say, I hope you all have a phenomenal weekend. Today is Thursday. I'm sorry. I'm really tired. But I hope you all have a phenomenal day today. I hope you all have a phenomenal day tomorrow, Friday. Don't overtrade. Don't do anything stupid. Follow the rules, right? I might make a post like supporting the levels, but I don't think I have to, because I think the post that I made earlier this week is very valid. And once again, I explained very well what happens if for Tesla. If we support 397.98, 414.50 will act like a magnet, and 430 would then be the level if we break above 414.50. And SPY, we ended up. Let me go ahead and see how SPY played out. Well, first let me see what the high was for Tesla this week. 420.34. Yeah, so we couldn't quite go there, but once again, 414 did act like a magnet, and that did happen, supporting the level that I gave. But with SPY, we actually, this video is pretty long, but anyways, whatever. I posted this here, right? So with SPY, I said 678.82 was the most important level to watch. The low was 680, so we didn't even see 672. Which is awesome. We supported my 680.82 level, which, let me see if that level was actually here. Oh no. Oh yes, 680.82. Yes, it was when I made this post. So we ended up supporting that. And let's go ahead and see. 689 will always act as a magnet if we support 678.82, which we did. We didn't even test that level. So that's, so 689 will always be the magnet. And then 693.33 if we reclaim and support 689.70, and that's exactly what happened. As a matter of fact, we supported this 689.70. We didn't test it on that same day, but I mean, we had an $8 bounce that day, right? We set it up, and then we had this bull gap right above 689.70. So I mean, yeah, it happened exactly how I stated it would. And the moment we got above 689.70, obviously 693.33 was the main target. And, we just couldn't quite reclaim it to hit my last target at what's the level here? 697.74. But, I mean, yep, there's going to be a fight here at that level. So, yeah, I'm going to end it here. I love you guys. Maybe I post a video tomorrow, maybe not. I'm not sure. But I think this video covers what you should expect by tomorrow close, right? So I covered that. I hope this video helps you guys. I hope you guys watch it and support it. And yeah, I'm also going to upload this on YouTube, for those that want subtitles. So I got you. Okay. Love you guys. Bye. Mwah.